Well, let's just forget about Sears. The United Airlines situation is a lot more fun to talk about, quite frankly. I mean, you know what? A couple of weeks ago, what was it? I did that Sears video, the first Sears video, and it's just gotten blown off the charts with thousands of views. Really, really awesome. A lot of interesting comments. You know, some trolls. Yeah, you could expect that, right? But anyway, but of course, in the last week, the big story is, let's just push Sears out of the way here, because United Airlines has created their own fun episode of interesting, shall we say? You know, so but I have to give you a little take. I'm going to give you a little take on that. That is kind of the way that I'm looking at it from the perspective of the future for business, more than just what the United Airlines situation is. But before I start, I guess I should first say, hi, this is Steve Miller, better known as Kelly's dad and marketing gunslinger. Thanks for joining me again this week on another Uncopyable Rambling and Business video and podcast. You know, because some of you are actually listening to me on C-Suite Radio, which is awesome. Thank you very much. One of the hottest new mediums on the internet. But if you're wondering why I'm being a little bit wacko here, well, it's Sunday. I'm recording this on Sunday because I'm flying out on Monday. When you get this video, it'll be Monday. I'm flying out to work in Washington, D.C. this week. So you know, and plus, my smoking hot wife, Kay, took off for the weekend, and she's down in San Diego visiting our daughter, our above average and gorgeous daughter, Kelly, down there. They're enjoying the sun. So it's me, the dog Shaka. He's got his squeaky ball, and I've got my Sunday afternoon glass of wine. Thank you very much. We'll have a little swig of this right now. So anyway, okay, first thing I want to talk about. A couple of weeks ago, I also talked about a little technique that I call reverse shoplifting. You may remember, a lot of you thought it was pretty funny, that Barnes & Noble was not carrying my book in the local Federal Way, Washington bookstore. So I chose to go in and do what I call reverse shoplifting. And I found an empty space on their bestseller shelf, and I put my book there, and I left it there. Funny thing, though, was that a few days later, my wife, my smoking hot wife, who loves to sell, just loves to sell, she went in, talked to the store manager. She took a book in and she said to the store manager, "Say, do you recognize this book?" And the store manager says, "Yes, I sure do. You know, we have it back there on our shelves, but oddly enough, it wasn't part of our inventory. So I entered it into our inventory, and I ordered some more." So reverse shoplifting works. Think about some creative ways that you can get new business out there. So, okay, so let's talk about the United Airlines incident. And I don't want to make this a really big, huge deal.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
I'm not interested in getting into the total legalities of the situation or anything like that, because I think that it's a much bigger problem. I mean, let's number one, last week when I was in New York, when I was flying back from New York to Seattle on American Airlines, I crossed on that flight 6 million miles on American Airlines. So I got a little bit of experience under my belt here on traveling. I understand the rights, the passengers' rights. I understand the rights of the airlines and things like that. Now and I think there's a lot of confusion going on out there and a lot of speculation of what's going on. And so just from a very simple legal perspective or from a regulation perspective, number one, they can deny you boarding once you get on, before you get on the plane. If the airline is overbooked, which they often are, and they try to offer money, which of course they don't want to offer very much money. They just don't want to do that. So they offer you a couple of $100, and then if they don't get enough volunteers, then they will take people off the plane. Now, I've seen them take people off the plane before, but understand this, when you have 6 million miles, they're not going to take you off the plane. If you paid full coach fare, they are not going to take you off the plane. It is not a random deal. All right. It's not necessarily random. It might be random among a small number of, if there's 150 passengers on the plane, at least 50 of them are not even considered for being yanked off the plane. I'm just guessing. But anyway, so that's number one. But the legality is they can deny you boarding onto the plane. Now, there's been a lot of argument saying that, well, he's a paying passenger, and once he was on board, that he now had a legal right to stay there in that seat because the 4 people were coming on board were not paying passengers. So the argument of, well, we're replacing a paying passenger with another paying passenger, obviously that was not true. However, here's the catch. Whether or not you could say that he legally had a right to that seat or not, here's the catch. The moment you get on board that plane, you now also agree to abide by the wishes of the crew, and especially the captain. The captain is now the king of your kingdom, so to speak. And you have to abide by whatever they ask you to do. And if they ask you to get off the plane, then legally, that's what you're supposed to do. So you see, this legal thing is really, really, really fuzzy here. But I'm gonna take it outside of that. I don't care about the legal thing. What happened this week is something that every business in America needs to be paying attention to. Whether you are a small business or a large business, you've got to be paying attention to this. It doesn't matter whether you are legally right about something or not. The social media, now that everybody has their phone, I got to pull mine out of my pocket. It's in my pocket. Now that everybody has, their phones in their pocket, no, orange, and they can put it on Facebook Live, so they can be live streaming when something is going on, or they can record it and put it up later on. Now that everybody is carrying one of these things, it's what public opinion thinks. That's what it's all about. So here's the situation. How badly is this going to hurt United Airlines? I don't know. I don't know how badly it's going to hurt them. They've been screwing up lately. Anyway, but at the same time, we don't expect great service from airline. Those of you like me, I have 6 million miles on the American Airlines frequent prisoner program, and I don't really have much choice. They own me. I have to fly American Airlines whenever possible because when you fly as much as I do, you want to be up front. You don't want to be sitting in the back because when you're putting hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on an airplane, you just don't want to be there. So here's the thing: social media, public sentiment is going to have a huge impact on businesses in the future, much more so than they have in the past. Because I dare say that over the years there have been multiple incidents very similar to what we've seen this week, but we didn't have this to broadcast. We may have heard about an incident on an airplane back in the evening news, and said, "Oh, that's horrible. That's awful that they treated that person like that." And the next day it was gone because there was no social media. So every business is now on I don't know, not on target, but you've got to be paying attention now, because regardless of whether the customer is wrong, regardless of whether the company is wrong, whoever looks crappiest on the video, whoever looks like they are being victimized on the video, treated the worst on the video, that's the winner. And if social media picks up on it and takes off with it, well, then if you're not the winner, then guess what? You're the loser. So what's going to happen is that some company is going to crash and fall off the cliff because of a similar incident like this. That's my prediction. So anyway, don't be that company. All right, you got to start paying attention to this stuff because it's going to affect you. It doesn't matter what business you're in; it's going to affect you. So, this is Steve Miller, better known as Kelly's dad, marketing gunslinger. Thanks again for joining me this week. Thanks for joining me in my my little glass of wine. Well, here I will. Hold on. And I'll see you again next week on my uncopyable video. And like I always say, by the way, go buy my book. Look, the book is flying off the shelf. I don't even have a book here to show you, but go buy my book on Amazon and read it and tell me what you think. Okay? Thanks for joining me. Always remember, be uncopyable.